I'm going to talk to you about right now tools that you'll need for the gardening. One is a shovel. One is a measuring stick if you need for everything to be straight and in a line, like my husband. He has to have everything straight. So he has made me this stick that says 18, 10, and 2. And most plants that you put in the ground, whether they're seeds or plants, that's kind of just the random number that we found for spacing plants and giving them enough room to grow. This is a type of hoe that is good to have if you're planting things in a row that is a seed, because you can just go down and scratch the ground and you can make it as deep, but it's also easy to cover up, and it's a good tool for weeding and breaking up clumps or getting up underneath the roots of the weeds. So it's one of my favorites, and I call this the Horseshoe because it looks like a horseshoe, and it's really good. I'll demonstrate it. Well, let's get it on softer ground here. But like if you just want to cut off the weed, you just go back and forth and it cuts it off normally. But see there, and then that way you stop that weed from growing up, and then the weed turns into nutrients. You don't really have to rake it up or anything like that. Another tool that we have is string. Once again, my husband likes everything to be nice and straight and symmetric, so we do the measuring thing. You don't have to, but that's the part he enjoys, so we do it. And a measuring tape, just in case you want to get it in the center of the hole. And this is another measuring tape, but I'm not sure why we use it, but I'm sure it's
100 feet long.
It's 100 feet long. So if you need a long measuring
Excuse
tape, this would be the
Watch
one
your toes.
to use. Another thing that we use here are cages, because it helps, like the tomatoes, and stand up in the branches, and you can easily get your hand in there and pick the vegetables and stuff. But this year, because I saw on PBS a show with squash and zucchini, is they put this over their squash and zucchini, which allowed the plant to grow up and the vegetables to, you know, be easier picked and up off the ground, and you don't have to worry about them rotting. So we're going to try that this year with this. So those are the tools we kind of use in our garden other than a tiller. I would say you will need a good tiller, so if you do any investment in gardening, a tiller is real important. Okay, some of the ways that you can acquire tools are, one, going to a yard sale or a church sale. This particular one I got for $2. In a store, it probably would be somewhere like $12 or $15. So I would say going to yard sales, and you know, a lot of people when they go to yard sales, they're not really looking for garden tools. So you can really kind of find good garden tools there, and you can always sharpen them if they're dull. And you know, always just, I like to look at the handle and how it is attached. That's important. You don't want to buy anything that's loose, because it's just not going to work for you. You know, it's going to come apart the first time you dig into the dirt. Talked about the tiller. We were lucky enough that we inherited my husband's father's tiller, so they're kind of expensive, so you might want to go on Craigslist, look in the paper, borrow one from a friend that you all do, you know, swapping. Maybe you till, you give them vegetables. That's always a good trade-off there. Everybody likes fresh vegetables. And on the cages, we have two different sizes. We have the tall ones for the tomatoes, and the short ones, like I said, we're going to use them for squash, but we were using them for peppers. And we bought this fencing, and it's concrete wire, I think that's what it's called. and we just cut it up and made circles out of them, and which makes sturdy cages. And sturdy cages are what you need. We also had this fencing that we put up because we were having problems with deers and groundhogs, and we thought that that would fix it. We even did a second layer right here to keep the groundhogs out, but they dug holes and went up under it. So the most humane thing that we've been able to do about groundhogs is get an electric fence, and this year it's worked. It's kept them out. So you know, I hope that's helpful.